Good afternoon and welcome to the Tech Report. The NASDAQ and the tech sector both seem to be trading down today. The NASDAQ did lift temporarily into the green zone, but couldn't hold it there. The largest stock, Apple, is up, but not enough to pull the whole group with it. And speaking of Apple, the new iPad mini with retina display went on sale today, 2 weeks after the full-size iPad hit the stores. However, there are worries that there won't be enough supply. If new products are blowing out of the store, well, it could drive the stock price higher. Joining me today is Scott Redler. He is the Chief Strategic Officer at T3 Live. So Scott, will the holiday hoopla push the stock higher?
Well, at this point, I think people realize it's going to be an Apple Christmas. The iPads are going to sell, the iPhones are going to sell. It's just a matter of whether or not the stock needs more time to consolidate. As traders, we love when Apple's on the move. It makes trading a lot better, but at this point, it's in a spot where it's not sure if it could sustain the 100-point move we just saw in 2 quarters, or if it needs more time before it starts getting some momentum into the Christmas holiday.
And supply issues are the kind of thing that, well, maybe that's a good thing that they ran out, but it could also be perceived as, well, why did they horribly mismanage this if they ran out of supply?
So it's almost like a double-edged sword, right? Too much demand doesn't have the supply. You'd think that Tim Cook would get it right because he was supposed to be an operations guy. But the bottom line is stock performance, and I think at this point it's really psychology. If you look at the chart, the longer-term chart of Apple, you will see that there's been a lot of people kind of battered and bruised. If you look back, over a year ago, it was trading at above 700 before that huge drop all the way down below 400. But then, as you could see, that lower level, it started to get under accumulation. 2 quarters ago, it was like at 420, it gapped up, and it's been acting better for the past 4 months. The question now is, can we sustain a move above, just say, this 510, 520 for additional gains above 525 that could take it to about 560 come year end?
Well, as you mentioned, just recently we've seen it start to crawl its way back. I mean, it's really working hard to get back. If we look at it just on a short-term basis, what do you see?
Well, that's what we're trying to look at it. As traders, it's been hard to trust Apple, and it has to prove itself. You can see on that chart. You see that line in the sand around 510-ish. I think most active traders are going to be pretty optimistic and keep it on their A list if it could stay above that. If it could finally get some authority and trade above 525 and close above it with volume, maybe it could be on a buyback announcement. Maybe Uncle Carl says something different. Or it could be just great sales like you saw when it popped on the iPhone data. That will be when it gets momentum. So I think the line in the sand for traders is about 510, and a spot where they'll get a little bit more excited is if it could start getting going over 525.
If it breaks that 510, what happens?
Then active traders will probably leave and say, okay, it's off the A list. And then you have a level around 490. And then if that doesn't hold, then it's back to putting Apple in the penalty box while it tries to figure out another pattern.
All right, well, it sounds like if it breaks down to there, it could be a post-Christmas sale.
That could be true, and then it could be a 2014 January effect special. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to take it, day by day and week by week. Otherwise, it still has a lot to prove, as we've seen from the past year. You can't just close your eyes and buy Apple and have it work out like it used to be over the last maybe 3 to 5 years.
All right, well, there you go, traders. Keep your eye on these levels that Scott's given you. You may be able to add some Apple stock to your stocking along with your iPad and your iPhone. That was Scott Redler from T3, and I'm Deborah Borchardt with The Street.